Right now, your brain is lying to you. Not maliciously, but it just can't help it. Every second, your brain asks one question. Is this real? And it answers before you even know it was asked. There are two versions of you. One is real, another one is constructed. And most of the time, you can't tell which one you're living in. Brain scans show your brain commits to a version of reality up to a half a second before you're conscious of it. You're always arriving late. And when it gets it wrong, the consequences are stranger than you can imagine. This is the reality signal, and this is what happens when it breaks. We are going to look at what your brain actually does, not what you think it does. The difference is very unsettling. Your brain built the room you're sitting in before you looked at it. Your brain does not wait for information to arrive. It builds the room before you look at it. It predicted they would be there and placed them before you looked. The gold is what your senses are sending. The blue is what your brain already decided before the signal arrived. You already know what's on the other side of that door. Your brain already built that answer from memory, not from looking. What you experience as now is actually 500 milliseconds old. You are always living just slightly in the past. Every tick you perceive has already happened. Your brain smooths over the gap. Most of the time, you never notice. Half a second, this is the gap between reality and your experience of it. Small enough to ignore, but large enough to matter. One is happening, and the other one already happened. One is what your senses are sending, and the other one is what your brain already decided half a second ago. When it works, you never feel the seam. Before your senses speak, your memory has already voted on what is probably there. Your brain sees this, but it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't wait for more information. It picks the most likely answer and commits in milliseconds. But the system is not perfect. What happens when the signal gets it wrong? The answer is stranger and more human than you expect. The brain placed something there that wasn't there. Something in the signal hesitates. This is not imagination. This is not confusion. This is the brain declaring something real with complete conviction that does not exist. Your brain chose one, but it was wrong. One version corrected, one did not. A hallucination is not imagination running loose. It is the brain's signal, the reality signal, declaring something real with full conviction. The conviction is genuine, the thing is not. The signal fires, stops, fires again. The brain cannot decide. And then nothing. Corrected, as it never happened. The opposite error is rarer and far more unsettling. The brain sees something real and quietly decides it isn't there. It walked right past. The signal never fired. Or worse, it sees something real and tells you it isn't. This is not a malfunction. This is the system operating exactly as designed. The design just has limits. By the time the brain noticed, it was already gone. There is a condition where the whole world stops feeling real. Not frightening, not dramatic, just distant, like watching your own life through glass. People describe looking at their own hands and not recognizing them as theirs. The signal that says, "these belong to me," had simply gone quiet. Derealization is not losing your mind. It is the signal that anchors you to reality, going temporarily, inexplicably silent. And you can see reality from there. You just cannot feel it. So, how does the system actually work? Your brain runs a model, a constant, updating prediction of what the world around you contains. Neuroscientists call it predictive coding. Built from memory, confirmed by expectation, before a single glance. When reality does not match the prediction, the brain fires a correction signal, a small alarm, update required. The model updates, the error disappears, and you never noticed it was wrong. When prediction matches reality, the brain barely registers it. No signal needed. Everything is as expected. But when prediction and reality diverge, a correction signal fires immediately. The brain updates its model. Only what is unexpected gets attention. Prediction confirmed. The world is as the brain expected. Move on. The brain is not just predicting. It is calculating odds, running probability on every signal it receives against everything it has ever experienced before. When the present signal is weak, the brain leans harder on the past. The past floods in and starts making decisions. The heavier the past, the harder it is to see what is actually in front of you. The brain stops asking what is there. It only asks, what do I expect to be there? But the present signal is persistent. It pushes back. Your brain is not just reading the present, it is predicting the next 7 seconds, building them before they happen. You are walking into future your brain already constructed. All of that compressed into this, the single moment you call now. Now we look at what happens when the system fails completely. Real cases, real brains. Capgras syndrome. The person standing in front of you has the right face, the right voice, the right memories. But the signal that says, this person is real to me, never fires. You reach, and something essential does not reach back. The face recognition system is working perfectly. The emotional confirmation system, the part that makes a face feel like someone, is completely silent. Capgras patients often conclude the person that they love has been replaced. It is the only explanation the brain can construct for a signal that isn't there. Charles Bonnet syndrome. It occurs most often in people who are losing their sight. The visual cortex stops receiving input and begins generating its own, vivid, detailed, completely silent, and entirely the brain's own invention. The person experiencing it often knows the figures aren't real. The brain generates them anyway. When the visual cortex is starved of input, it does not go quiet. It fills the silence with the only thing it knows how to make, images. And then gone, as suddenly as they came. The last case is the most extreme, a condition called Cotard delusion, in which a person becomes fully convinced that they are dead. Not metaphorically, literally. They believe they no longer exist. The signal that says, I am here, I am alive, I exist, has stopped firing entirely. This is a working brain, doing exactly what brains do, processing signals, drawing conclusions. The conclusion it drew was that it was no longer alive. Every case we just looked at was a working brain. Not broken, not diseased beyond recognition, a brain running its core program, building reality from signal, and arriving at a different answer than yours did today. Which raises the question you have been building toward this entire time. If your brain constructs reality rather than recording it, how much of what you are certain about is actually true? Two versions of the same mind looking at each other. That line between what is real and what the brain decides is real is thinner than you want it to be. It has always wavered. You just never watched it closely enough. Every version of reality you experienced in this video, your brain produces all of them, every day, selecting one, discarding the rest. And today, it selected this, what you're experiencing right now. You are a brain, reading signals, constructing a world, and calling it reality. That is not a flaw. It is the most remarkable thing in the known universe. It is looking at you right now, deciding if you are real. The signal is all you have. Spend some time wondering what it has gotten wrong and what, against all odds, it has gotten right. Your brain just processed something genuinely strange. Mine is sending its own signal now and hoping yours decides it's real enough to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Tell me in the comments, what did your brain get wrong today? I genuinely want to know.